surrounded by difficulties, circumstances, and sometimes our own principles that we build over the years challenge us to change some things within us, something that we used to believe in, and do it just because it feels right. That sound that tell you this is the right thing is not something that you should hold on to. For example, let's say that you have certain principles towards something, or a certain reaction or certain thought or beliefs towards something, but then you discover something else which leads you to think and observe and research again over the thing you have found, or the thing that you used to believe and put it as a very much important principle that you would never do something against it. But then there's a feeling that haunts you all the time and tell you that this is the right thing, which is to change it, to do the right thing. That's a bit challenging because you find yourself must do it, like you have no other options. But yet there sometimes the ego comes involved, where you feel like you say, I don't know, should I do this, should I not? I'm not really sure or certain about it, because I've been following this certain thing for the rest of my life, like especially when I've known it. Don't underestimate that feeling, because it's part of growth, it's part of knowledge and wisdom at the same time. And changing things over, it's part of elevating, it's part of developing, it's part of transforming into a brand new version of yourself. Every time, every step is different from the past step. That's why we need to feel and to believe that feeling, especially when it tells you this is the right thing. And yet, for people who say like, I don't have this feeling, like I've never had a sound or a feeling that tells me this is the right thing to do. I'm just sometimes I just do what other people experiences and what people saw, so I put them based on that. It's good that you learn from other people's experiences in life. It makes you smart. But when it comes to yourself, every one of us as a human, we all have that sound. The difference between the people who hear it and those who don't is just that the volume is very low. Like your volume is very low. The sound of that feeling is very low. Once you have a time with yourself, because it's so crowded, so many thoughts, so many feelings, there's so many battles inside you that you can't hear that sound. But if you give it a chance, I think it's there. It's more like an emotions. Most people nowadays believe that emotions are weakness, but no, it isn't. And if you can look around you, I think you could see that the majority of nowadays, basically, I would say those who have the authority, trying so hard to make sure that your feelings and are dead. They are trying to kill people's feelings so that once they witness a war, witness something like this, they don't have a voice. Their voice is very low. So they somehow push you to lower, lower that volume, lower that sound so that you can't hear it. You found yourself distracted and battling with so many things around you that you are looking for redemption. And redemption can be anything. Like it could be someone, it could be anyone that can help you actually let go and feel safe, instead of just being the boss, the controller of your own life. Listening to that gut, listening to that sound that tells you this is the right thing to do, even if it's uncomfortable. It is the right thing. We used to have that in the past, and I do believe we all have it, as I said, but the volume is very low. peace and having a quiet moment where there's no sound, just the nature and you and yourself in a peaceful place. Don't run from that, because when you are in a peaceful place, that feelings, that the sound that you used to lower it, the sound that you lowered, the volume of it, it comes to the surface. It comes to the surface, and it start telling you everything about it. And you start feeling like there's someone is talking to you again. Like you feel like things that been there for like a lot, like a lot of a baggage is trying to tell you like everything. It feels like you're listening to a book or an audiobook, like it's telling you what happened all over those past times that you couldn't hear it. It tells you everything. At that peaceful moment, you find yourself deeper with yourself, listening to that voice, what's telling you, and then helps you to make the right decisions. That's why I say that sometimes it's impossible for you to just follow a certain rule, certain principles. For people who's like, I have a principles that I can never change. But to be honest, principles can change. Yes, the good one might remain. For example, like spirituality, psychology, taking care of yourself, and all those kind of things that would never change. But I'm talking about the principles or the things that you believe about yourself and that you would never do. And this, I mean, how many people have been following certain rules to themselves, and then they found out that it this certain principle it doesn't work in this generation, for example, which I have to change this method, or have to change this way in order for me to follow, to be balanced with this generation, to know how this generation works or how it's going. So it's not about following the system, but it's more like finding a way to make sure that you elevate with it, and you know what you're doing, because you don't want to be just a punching bag where everyone is gonna punch you from once and again, from time to time, and then you just realize that, yeah, I'm behind. You don't want to be behind because of a principle. That's what happens with the majority. So it is important to give a chance to that sound, because that sound gonna lead you one way or another for your own safety.